Hey, how's it going? Mr. Deadman here, Rant to Chill. Gonna talk about evil races, apparently. According to Extra Credits, I don't know if you've ever seen that channel, those videos. Pretty bad. Horrible takes. I think last year they had a take about how playing games that have Nazis and terrorists in them, and players get to play as Nazis and terrorists, that it's bad because it normalizes Nazis and terrorists. Okay, so if you play Counter-Strike Go as the terrorist side, you then start feeling more comfortable being a terrorist, and then you want to be a terrorist in real life? What? I don't understand. The logic makes no sense. Gotta react to this. Because what else am I going to talk about? Oh, there's plenty of stuff to talk about. When it comes to like politics and news, but things that could get me in trouble. Just trust the plan. You're riding with Biden. Let Biden drive. Let Biden drive. Anyway, let's do this. Extra credits, little thing here. Are orcs evil? Okay. And if orcs are evil, then that's racist, apparently. That's what this kind of builds off of. Be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Most people will be like, what are you talking about, Mr. Deadman? What the hell are you talking about? Orcs are evil, of course. But how's that racist? Honestly, the logic makes no sense. I it seems like those that see, let me just tell you, there's some people out there that are convinced that orcs are, I guess, cartoon caricature depictions of black people. That's right. There's people out there that when they see an orc, like from World of Warcraft, from Lord of the Rings, they see a black person. They can't help but to see a black person there. Now stop and think. Who's the racist there? Right? It's pretty clear. I think it's quite interesting, really funny, that those that see orcs as black people, they want to get on their soapbox. They want to get on their little podium and cry virtue about how it's so wrong and how it's racist, when they themselves are indeed the racists. So, and it goes deeper. See, that was like last year's meme. Orcs are racist. Extra credits goes, hold my beer, watch me go even further on this. Not only are orcs racist, but evil races altogether is just wrong, immoral, and whatever. We're going to get into it. Evil races. You know what I'm talking about. You played Halo, The Covenant, okay? You played, guys, give me some examples here. It's everything. It's like, play Pac-Man, the ghosts. The ghosts would be the evil race or whatever. Play Warcraft. Orcs would be the evil race, or the trolls. You know? Shit. Imagine any video game with fictional characters. Any fantasy movie with fictional characters. Oh, that fictional race, that's the evil race. All right. Apparently that's a problem. Apparently that's a huge problem. I think it's people with too much time on their hands and they are looking too deep into things, but let's get into this. What do you guys think? Are evil races bad game designs? That's what this video is called. Bioessentialism and world building. Extra credits. Of course, it got downvoted by a lot. This video we're about to get into is a good example why the dislike button needs to stay on YouTube. Okay? Why it needs to stay. AT Templar, basically what it is, a bunch of F slurs. He means faggots. Want to censor and destroy people's fun and entertainment. That is true. That is true. And by the way, when he said that, he wasn't talking about gay people. No. The sort of person that wants to ruin the fun for everybody else, no. They are indeed a faggot. That's what they are. That's what they are. Now, tonight, I'm going to have this. They have this thin mint stout. Is it any good? We're going to find out. I picked this up. I was like, okay, thin mint, a mint. Oh, God. You know, after reading articles about how mint lowers your testosterone level, it's like, oh, jeez. But the way I've been feeling lately, after spending like almost a week and a half without porn, Jesus Christ, I could actually lower my T count right now. Fuck, my balls feel like they're about to burst. Anyway, TMI, right? Gotta tell you, man, not fapping for about a week and a half. Feeling pretty good. Feel pretty strong. Anyway, let's get into this.
If you paid attention to the game's discourse on the internet during 2019 and 2020, you might have noticed a reoccurring argument about some species from fantasy media,
orcs being racist.
Specifically orcs. Now, not to worry, this episode isn't going to be just another member of the chorus talking about how if all orcs in a game are blindly evil, that it's racist.
It's not racist for all orcs to be evil. Besides, evil's subjective. It's not like orcs in Warhammer know they're evil. In their perspective, the orcs in Warhammer are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Kill, kick ass, spread, you know, whatever. Whoa, this thin mint stout is pretty good. Good God. It's like, it is indeed the Girl Scout Thin Mints cookies in a beer. But not with like artificial flavoring. It doesn't come off as fake. It's good. And it's a stout. So if you like bold, dark beers, you'll definitely like this. Anyway, let's get into this. Orcs being racist, I guess.
Instead, we want to discuss how that particular choice is simply bad game design.
Oh, it's bad game design now. Oh, tell us. From guys that don't make their own games. From guys that fail to understand that video games are meant to be simple anyway. I mean, you really don't want complexity in a game. It slows it down. It doesn't make for a fun game. Come on now. We'll get deeper into that.
VPN for sponsoring today's episode.
And their sponsor is Nord. Isn't Nord VPN the one that got hacked and everyone's information was exposed or leaked out or whatever? Okay.
Control of your internet credits at NordVPN, who guest wrote this episode. Thanks so much, Mendez. Much of the recent conversation on orcs points out that characterizing a whole species in your game as ugly, warlike, and malevolent might be harmful to real-world groups.
Pause that right there. Go see what they're trying to say is by saying orcs are
species in your game as ugly, warlike, and malevolent.
Okay, that's somehow racist. How is that racist?
Might be harmful to real-world groups.
Because by using those characteristics on a fictional race or species, really, not even a race. Okay, it's not a race of human. It's a totally different species. It's a fictional fucking species we're talking about. We're talking about orcs, goddammit. Just because orcs are strong and ugly and fierce, warlike and evil does not mean anything at all to real world examples of race, like in the real world. How does it connect? And I've talked with some fantasy authors before on Horror Talk Radio back in the day when it was Dead Men's Tone podcast. And one of them told me that all fictional races are actually stem from real world races. So therefore you can make that link. And I was like, you might draw some ideas from a particular race, necessarily might mix it and make it your own, whatever, but it's a totally different thing. Especially when it can become so changed and so modified. And it's like, what? Dude, that's crazy. We're looking at a fictional fucking species and how they're warlike and how they are ugly and evil. Oh my God, that must mean what? What? And when you ask them to spell it out, they sound racist because what they're trying to say is orcs being warlike, being violent and ugly is saying that they're black people. That's what they're saying. It's harmful. It's harmful to black people. How is it harmful to black people? Don't make any sense. Don't make any sense. I see a green, ugly looking dude right there with some bitch titties. I don't see a black dude there. Come on, man.
Regularly mischaracterized
I know he's not black because he didn't vote for Biden.
as ugly, warlike, and malevolent. However, this video isn't that. Though if you want more on that discussion, Mendez breaks it down wonderfully over on his website, and we'll have a link to that in the description. But here, we're going to talk about something related. Why characterizing a group like this in your game can be lazy at best, and at worst, actively harmful to the world you're creating.
Lazy and actively harmful to the world you're creating. Okay, we're going to get into that. Lazy to have a species be evil. In any game, name the game you played where you have to fight an enemy force of an alien race or fantasy race that are just evil. And most likely in that game, they're going to have a part to where, in their perspective, they're not evil. They're noble. They're just. They're fulfilling their destiny. And what it is, it's a warlike scenario, and you're fighting to survive or fighting a conflict or whatever. So in that, like, what do you talk about? Yeah, there's going to be good and evil, but from the perspective of your player, who you're playing as. Like, when Master Chief is killing the Covenant, like, we don't need him to go, okay, let me go ahead and discern which Covenant is good and bad. No, we want him to just kick fucking ass. Throw plasma grenades, have some shotgun shells ready for the flood. Okay, we don't need him to go, okay, before you kill any grunts or elites or flood guys, you need to make sure that they are actually evil before you kill them. Otherwise, you're going to be court-martialed, which wouldn't matter anyway because Master Chief went AWOL to go after his virtual AI girlfriend. So, because Master Chief is a simp. Anyway, I'm going into the weeds here about something else. Let's get back.
When designing a game's world and populating it with fictional species, a designer might be tempted to differentiate them from one another by certain inalienable qualities, like their moral alignment, violent versus peaceful, law versus chaos, good versus evil, and the like.
Yeah, that's like Dungeons and Dragons stuff there.
It's a common trope in speculative fiction, but especially in the context of a game, painting an entire species with the same moral brush actually weakens the entire thing. This idea that a certain subgroup, like race,
but it's painted in the brush from whose perspective? From the player's perspective, right? From the player's, I guess, race that you're playing as. I mean, if you're playing as some elf and you're fighting orcs, okay, whatever. If you're fighting some crazy sun aliens on the planet Neptune, some shit, I have no idea, man. It's like you're not like, it's not like they're saying that they're all evil necessarily. Oh, it depends on the game, I guess. Like 40K? Oh yeah, the orcs are evil. But from the perspective of the orcs, they're not evil. Like I said, they're doing what they want to do. They're spreading. Now, of course, the Empire wants to purge them in the holy light or whatever. Some 40K guys could tell me a little bit more about that, could use the correct terminology. But that's understandable because that's a war scenario. Most games are conflict-driven, war-driven, whatever, because, I mean that's the setting you're going to have. I mean, that excuses a lot of shooting and killing, right? I mean, shit.
Race, nationality, or sex has inalienable traits, is called biological essentialism or simply bioessentialism. And it's a valid way to talk about qualities like how many legs an animal has or whether it can fly. But all too often, this concept gets misused in untrue statements, like pit bulls are a violent breed, men are...
Well, I mean, pit bulls can be violent. See, that's the thing with that sort of example there. Pit bulls have been bred. Okay. Not all pit bulls are violent, but there's particular traits that pit bulls have that make them good for a guard, to be a guard dog. And if you ever been around different breeds of dogs, you know that there are certain characteristics that are innate in them, in their DNA, just about. It has to be. Because even without being trained to do certain things, they will do things that are kind of in line with their breed. Like border collies and herding. The herd mentality. Without even being trained, the dogs I had growing up, they were border collies, purebred. And without even being trained, they immediately started herding things. It could be cats, it could be whatever. They start trying to put them into groups. If you have a dog that's more prone towards violence or being defensive, like a pit bull or a border collie, not a border collie, a boxer, you're gonna see that come out of them. And depending on how they were, they're depending on their breed, it may show up differently. But that's not necessarily evil. That's not good or evil. I mean, a pit bull being violent isn't evil or good. It's how it's being used that makes it either evil or good, and who's the recipient of it. Shit, you get bit by a pit bull, you might be like, oh shit, fuck, that sucked. Fucking evil bastard dog. But if you own that pit bull and your house is, I don't know, some dude was on your property, trying to break into your house or whatever, you'd be like, hey, shit, my dog did a good job. Fucking A.
Are more logical than women, or Asians are better at math. Now, chances are, if a game is set in the real world, that
Goth IHOP memes, please. You're funny. Maybe later.
The designers are avoiding these tropes because they aren't real, as multiple fields of societal and hard science can readily prove to you. But speculative fiction offers us an opportunity to reify or make real various things which don't exist, or to exaggerate things.
It's funny how they say that. Hard science will say that. Look, it's not like certain races are more prone towards violence necessarily in the real world, huh? Is it? It's just where they are in life. What happens? Fatherless households, no opportunities. I mean, there is that stat about a particular race and crime. You know what I'm talking about. Is that because of race, or is that because of environmental factors? What is that?
Which do. Now, bioessentialism is a tempting idea in fantasy for some of the same reasons as it is in the real world. Because to our human minds, broad generalizations are comforting. They reduce the world to simple...
Broad generalizations in a video game just make it easier to play. You don't... Come on, man. You don't need an overly complicated story. In fact, honestly, that starts... You especially don't need overly complicated mechanics where, let's say... Oh, shit, man. Let's say like in those Borderlands games where you're fighting all the crazy, what do you call them? The crazy psycho dudes or whatever, that not all of them are bad. So you have to like figure out which ones are good, which ones are bad. Okay. And if you shoot the good ones, oh, then there's a penalty, I guess, somehow, some sort of moral consequence. It's like you're playing a fucking video game. You're playing a shooter or whatever. Why don't you just have all be bad and you shoot them? You get the points. You level up and all this stuff. It doesn't. Nothing you're doing translates at all to real world situations. You're just playing a game. That's all you're doing.
Cut and dry categories. All orcs bad, all elves good. Root for these folks, not for these folks. But
if you want to call in on this one, feel free. I will hop in the Discord. I'm in the Discord now. You should be able to hop in just fine, but there you go. And that's for everybody. People could just join, I suppose. Hopefully the Discord works just fine.
But just like in the real world, bioessentialism can present problems in fiction as well, specifically a moral one. The idea that a sapient species can inherently tend towards good or evil acts, or lawful or chaotic ones, and that moral essentialism actually undercuts the greatest strength game.
Well, I mean, let's say, like, orcs as a species, as a race/species, depending on what your fantasy universe, let's say like Warhammer, what they know is war and conquest, violence, conquering, destroying, owning. And they are an like, I don't know how you would explain it. Like there's no deviation in the race. Like it is that. There's like a purebred species. Then you could probably say then that, yeah, you know what? Seems to be in their DNA. Yeah, they're fucking evil. How's that racist? How's that bad? How's that lazy game design? Shit.
Well, special races, to chime in here, like, there's races that have specialties. Like in real life, each general race has its inherently gifted ability.
Right. Oh, and Kaiser's coming in now to talk about this. How's it going, Kaiser?
These extra credit guys, this only reveals to me that they've never played Dungeons and Dragons in their entire life.
Yeah, I played a couple of rounds a long time ago. I played more of, I think the game was called Exile. I'm not sure, or Exalted. I'm not sure what it was called. But anyway, yeah. So how do you feel about these? This idea that evil races is bad game design? That is, I don't know. Like, I guess you're supposed to have like a mix of good and bad within the orcs or something.
Well, like you said, it all depends on like perspective, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say there's, within context of Dungeons and Dragons, there could be orcs that are raiding because they just are in a shitty biome or whatever, right? So they have to raid to get food and gold or whatever. So that action may seem bad to other people, but from their perspective, they're just surviving, right?
Right. So they're good in their perspectives. They're trying to feed their baby orcs, provide for the baby orcs. Okay. So. Okay, I'm gonna play the rest of this video. You should be able to hear it with my setup. Should play through.
Games can bring to storytelling the player's own power to make meaningful, interesting choices and judgments for their characters, including moral ones. So if a game's creative choices apply a moral valuation to every member of an entire species before the players even meet them, well, now that's just taking that power away from the players. And
Wait. Back up. Okay, you might know more about this than me, but I don't know of many games that let you make a moral choice about the creatures you're about to fight. Like make a choice about like your opponent's morality. Like I'm familiar with games where you make a moral choice and that changes things for you, and there may be a consequence down the line or whatever. But like, what you make a choice and it somehow it's going to determine whether or not, like, I guess orcs are good or bad or semi. I mean, I could see where maybe I know there's games where they may ally with you. They might become a little bit more friendly towards you. I don't know. Do you know what he's talking about?
Well, the point he's made it doesn't make any sense because a dungeon master decides like the story. He can introduce orcs as good or bad. So, and within Dungeons and Dragons, of course, there's the the alignments: lawful good, lawful evil,
chaotic good, chaotic
yeah.
evil, neutral. I think I'm chaotic good. I think that's where I'm kind of chaotic at times. You never know when it was stream. Last stream was talking about femboys. Sorry to bring that up again. Kaiser, are you there? Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't scare you, did I? It's okay, man. It's okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, like, the Dungeon Master makes the decision. Now, if you're playing a game, of course, a video game where it's all done for you, I mean, the programmers were essentially the Dungeon Master, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, what you have is what you have. A lot of games you don't even have a choice. Your choice is you pick up weapons and you shoot, and that's that's all your real choice, really. You're not really making any moral choices that really impact the game in some big way. So, I don't know what he wants. I guess later on in the video it explains what this guy wants game developers to do.
And in turn, if a group of orcs, for instance, doesn't even have a choice about their actions, are they actually evil? Because look, if a person, say, destroys...
Well, that's the point, what I said earlier. Like, if they don't know if they're evil, then they're not evil. Like, in their perspective, they're good because what they're doing... It's not like they're choosing to be evil. They're just trying to fulfill their needs, man. And, okay, you definitely play more Warhammer than I have. When the orcs of Warhammer go... and they spread, what are they trying to do?
Well, just try and propagate their species.
Right. Spread the species. Spread the horde. So, they think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be evil for them to start like aborting their spawn and start like killing their own, right? I mean, that'd be evil. They're not doing that. They're taking over land, killing others, because that's good for them.
I think they do fire Gretchens out of like cannons and catapults and shit, though.
Well, I mean, it's a means to an end. They have so many. Okay.
But then again, about all this too is like a story needs a villain. So regardless of if it's orcs, elves, gnomes, dwarfs, or whatever, it needs a villain to progress the story. I don't know. I don't see this guy's point in like interjecting racism and shit into it.
Yeah, it's like you have to have you're right. You have to have a villain, and it's, dude, that clear black and white stuff. It works when you start getting it. Sometimes you can have a story, a compelling story, like an element of gray there. But like, okay, there's some deeper meaning to this. Maybe the orc has some introspection. Maybe the humans have some introspection, or whatever it is you're playing as, or whatever the main characters are, or whatever. They kind of like, okay, maybe there could have been other ways we could have resolved this conflict, but we're here. This is what we have to do. It's our destiny, and so forth. I'm gonna play the rest of this real fast. Let me know if you want to comment on something. All you have to do is start talking. I'll pause it.
All right, I will.
Is a house. We call that evil because they chose to do so. But if a tornado destroys a house, well, I mean, is wind evil?
Yes. Well, the tornado's an evil fucking bastard.
Tornado's racist.
Yes. The tornado destroys a black house. A black household. It is definitely racist. Destroys a white household. It is fine.
No. Therefore, if a game's world building chooses to program every member of a species to destroy, aren't they more like the tornado? Now, if the
No. There would be more like God of the game. Like they would be more like the dungeon master. They would literally be the dungeon master. If the programmer programmed all the orcs to be evil to the humans, and you're playing as the humans, let's say it's Warcraft 2, and you're playing as the humans, and you're setting up your little thing, whatever, and the orcs are fighting you, that's what's happening. Because you're the humans. Okay? And the game developers made that happen. Okay? The god of the game made that happen. Though on the flip side, if you're playing as the orcs, guess what? The humans would be fighting you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and they're all evil too. Wow, look at that. These damn fucking evil humans.
Well, it's like with sci-fi books, right? Too, or the general idea is if there's different species of aliens, like in space, and humans, any war that breaks out is going to be ethnically slanted, because that's how you defeat them, right? Because you denied them resources and lives.
Yeah. That's true.
players' characters are able to make moral choices, but an entire class of NPCs is inherently evil regardless of their choice, then the game is either telling the player that moral choices don't matter, or it's simply driving a wedge between the player's morality and the morality that applies to the rest of the world, blocking.
Okay. Like, there's a few video games that I know that where you make certain choices and it really impacts your morality. Like, I know like some, like the NPCs might start responding to you differently, like Morrowind or Skyrim or whatever. But like, I don't expect much of a difference because first off, that's a lot of work for the programmers to do. I expected more like I might get a different ending or whatever. It's like, what is he? I mean, I guess you would experience this more in like pen and pencil games, right? I don't know. What is he talking about?
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just interjecting cultural Marxist shit into stuff that's not there.
Right? He's talking about like some grand morality in video games. I don't know, man. And it's video games because the person, the animation is clearly holding a controller. What controller that is, I can't even tell you.
The player from further becoming a part of it. For instance, in Warhammer 40k, this inconsistency is central to the Imperium of Man's villainous creed. Individuals' human choices make them good or evil, whereas aliens are created evil. And of course, Games Workshop made that choice to facilitate a war game where lethal violence is the only option. But then folks...
Right. Okay. So in 40k, is that true? In 40k, the humans are created where they can be good or evil, and all the other aliens and factions, the chaos and all of them, they're all evil from the start. Well, aren't the humans pretty evil too? I mean, they're not like the best of guys, but
then again, it's space warfare, and when you have that in a mix, like I said before, any space combat between civilizations is going to be ethnically based. There's not going to be situations where they push whatever this guy's talking about.
Right. That's a good point. Like, let's say we found this other alien species on another planet, and we had to go to war. The humans on Earth had to go to war with like the Jupiter ass-eating aliens or whatever. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna be called. Okay. If we have to go to a space war with them, yeah, you're gonna see humans fighting this whatever the other alien stuff is. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be humans on this side and these weird-looking alien things on the other side. They're gonna think those aliens are gonna think they're good. They're doing what they need to do to take out the human trash, maybe conquer Earth and whatever. I don't know. And the humans think they're good because, fuck it, we're good. I mean, you don't fight a war and think, man, I'm a horrible, why am I doing this? I'm doing this just to be pure evil. I mean, you don't do that. Not really. I know some people might say, "Oh, but the Nazis," but even the Nazis thought they were fighting for a righteous, just cause. Imagine that. They thought God was on their side. Oh, they prayed to him every day.
And a lot of German citizens saw it as, oh, there's all these nations invading us now, and now we have to defend our home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, but that's complicated. See, now that's a complication that I'm sure this guy who made this video wouldn't like. Oh, that's too much nuance.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll play some more of this.
Also saw that in the 40k novels and RPGs, which required more interesting narrative complexities, Imperial heroes have to grapple with and recognize the illogic of that creed based on their own experience. Okay, but now you might be asking, what if you're playing the kind of game where you're engaging in violence because it's exciting and fun? Not because
most games, all right? I mean, that's most of the video games, that's what you're doing. You're engaging in violence because it's fun. You're not really thinking that, oh yeah, I'm shooting these guys or cutting their heads off or whatever. It's just, oh yeah, I mean, maybe you are, but it's fun. You're doing it because it's fun. It's entertaining.
Exactly, and that'd be a shitty game if you did have to consider that.
Right? God, can you imagine, once again, going back to Halo, if Master Chief had to discern with each covenant was a good guy or a bad guy, it'd take forever, man. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Just give me the battle rifle, let me shoot. That's all I want to do. Okay?
And then you have the Covenant glassing whole planets. So, yeah, I would say they're evil.
No, but maybe there's Covenant on the spaceship that are good though. Okay?
Oh, of course.
You see, that's the thing. Even when you go on the spaceship, the Covenant spaceships, what are they called? It's been a while. Maybe there's some good ones there, and you have to figure out which ones are good and make sure that you're doing it right. Otherwise, you'd be racist. I guess. I think. I don't know what this guy's. I mean, it sounds like that's what this guy's talking about. I'll play some more of it.
because of its moral dimensions, where the meaningful choice is about tactics rather than ethics. Maybe the goal is to take moral calculus out of the problem. Sure, one solution might be saying, all orcs are evil, go ahead and shoot them. But in that situation, as soon as someone inadvertently feels some empathy, as people often do for anything seeming even vaguely alive, the
pause right there. That little reference. Okay. Empathy towards something that's even seemingly alive, as most people do. Okay, I guarantee you the person who made this video probably doesn't consider insects to be very much alive. Because I'm pretty sure he would kill a roach or a spider if he saw one. Think of the morality there. Shit. Fuck. Any comments, Kaiser?
This guy's just a absolute dipshit.
I think it gets better. I think it's about to get better. We'll see.
Oh, God.
The easy answer becomes less easy. And if the goal of your game is to stop players from engaging in moral debates and just fight some bad guys, you kinda gotta say something more reliable than, oh, it's fine, they were all born this way.
Wait. That means the game Doom is doing it all wrong. And Doom being the Space Marine, or the Space Marine kicking demon ass, you're doing it all wrong. Apparently, that's bad game design. And Doom
you're supposed to go to the demon and give him a 100-question quiz form to see if they're evil or not. Then once you deduce from the 100-question questionnaire, then you shoot him afterwards if it falls on the bad side.
Right. or how about you do this? Hey, in the game, they shoot at you, so you shoot back. See, yeah. I think the game, it does that for you. They're shooting at you, you shoot back. There's your questionnaire, extra credits guy. Yeah. You know how you know they're evil? Because they're shooting at you and you're trying to survive. But maybe they're shooting at you because you're in their territory. Well, I am. The Doom guy is, but he wants to fucking survive. He ain't dying. I mean, This stuff was crazy. This is the same guy. This extra credits. Remember last year? I talked about this earlier. Where they did a video about games. So I think World War II games where they have Nazis. When you play as Nazis, it normalizes Nazis, and how that's a huge problem. And how like games like Counter-Strike Go, like when you play as a terrorist, it normalizes being a terrorist. Like taking hostages. I don't know about you, but after playing Counter-Strike Go, I love taking hostages. I like going to banks, trying to rob them, take some hostages, playing bombs.
I know for me personally, as soon as I'm done playing Grand Theft Auto 5, I mean, I have a sudden urge to go out, bang some hookers, and then bash them in with a bat.
Yes, or even better. Oh, how about this? You steal a car, and then you run over hookers, and then you go out of the car, and you collect the money that they have, and you go back in the car, and you just drive off. You just do it again.
Of course.
Yeah. And you evade the police by hiding in an alleyway and just, waiting for, watching the map, watching them kind of avoid you or like try to find you, but, you write out the clock on that one. All right, let me play some more.
Fortunately, the real world's made progress on this problem, because sometimes in this day and age, people actually bear visual signifiers which say, I'm evil, not because of where I was born, but because of the choices I've made, such as Nazi uniforms and Klan hoods.
Okay, so he wants all the bad guys to be Nazis in KKK. That's what he wants. That's what this guy wants. I mean, there's plenty of games like that. Unfortunately, they're not good enough for this guy because you might have the option to play as them, or you might be a hero who has to don on that uniform to be, infiltrate, get behind enemy lines. He might think that's a problem. I don't.
But wait, by his reasoning, then technically we're not supposed to take his word for that because there could be good KKK or good Nazis.
Yeah, you're right. Could be. Are all Nazis evil? Are all KKK members evil? I don't know. Now in this, he's applying it to race. I think he would be like, oh no, I'm applying it to race. What I'm talking about with KKK and Nazis, I'm talking about like moral ideas. Yeah, everyone who believes that idea is evil. But as we know, not everybody who, let's say World War II Germany, not everybody who was a member of the Nazi Party was like necessarily co-signing everything that happened. They didn't really have much of a choice. And if you lived in Germany during World War II, you would probably be a Nazi. That's it. You would be a Nazi. That's it.
Yeah, it's either be a Nazi or go to the camps.
Yeah. So, and I like how people will be like, oh no, I wouldn't. I would try to leave. Probably you wouldn't. Like, I know we're talking about hyperboles or not hyperboles, but hypotheticals. It's like, what would you do if that was you? I'd say based on the probability, yeah, you would just be a Nazi. That's what that is.
Well,
Anyway.
the point has to be made. The guy in Schindler's List, he was a part of the Nazi Party and he saved all those Jewish people. So, right. By that reasoning...
Good reference. Yeah. See, not all Nazis are evil. He felt bad about what was happening because, you start killing a bunch of people like that. It's like, fucking, hey, man, like, what the hell's going on? Anyway.
Then you have Von Braun and all the scientists from Operation Paperclip.
Yeah. Oh, that's evil.
We're
Nazi
technically
science.
a part of the party. Yeah.
Yep. And that Nazi science helped put us onto the moon, if you believe in that. If you believe that there's a space. Anyway, I'll play some more of this.
Then in fiction, we have things like the Hydra logo, a clear visual signifier, but one that denotes choice, not birth. And if...
what denotes choice? Okay, Hydra logo, yeah, sure, that denotes choice. But the swastika does not denote choice. I mean, you could say they chose, but what were the options there? All right. It's kind of funny when people say choice like that. It's like based on where you're born, your choice, like the choice of your religion, the choice of what party affiliation you're part of, the politics you get involved in. It's kind of really determined on where you're born. A large part of it, anyway. How do you feel about that? Where you're born and when you're born.
Sense. Exactly.
Anyway.
If the statement that a game is making with its backstory and symbols is that an enemy had a choice and they chose wrong, then that gets way less complicated for a game that's interested in uncomplicated violence. So whether a game does or doesn't...
So we're being schooled about fictional races from someone who doesn't understand that even those problematic ideas and stuff aren't necessarily a choice. Like let's say someone joined a Hydra, not knowing its deep evil roots or whatever. They just thought it sounded cool. The logo looked cool, whatever, and maybe it was a good job. They paid well, and then it's all of a sudden, we gotta take out these guys. We do these missions. Okay, that's fine. And later on down the road, it's like, oh, now we gotta do this thing. I don't know. What the fuck did Hydra do? That's pure evil. Can't even tell you. They're just the bad guys. All I know about Hydra and the Marvel stuff is that they used to be Nazis.
Or were stand-ins for, anyway.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, they're evil because they're Nazis. That sounds lazy. That sounds fucking lazy.
Yeah.
doesn't want its players to overthink their character's moral choices. Evil as a choice is just more effective than evil as a bioessential trait. But then, of course, if everyone wearing the evil team uniform happens to be an orc, or if every orc happens to have chosen Team Evil, the game wouldn't exactly be communicating that difference very well.
Okay, so if everyone in Team Evil is of one race, it's what, a problem? It's not diversified? Is that where it sounds like he's going to diversity here?
I guess is what he's getting at.
Well, then Doom did it right, because there's diversity in the Space Marine, the zombies you fight. There's the shotgun ones, the pistol ones. I'm thinking of like the old school Doom. And you have different, you have the imps and all the pink demon. You get all sorts of shit. But then again, Warhammer had diversity. They had orcs, and they had the what are the shit? You know your Warhammer a lot better than I do. What are the other races? The other factions?
They have the Eldar, which are like space elves.
Yeah, space elves.
And then you got the Tau, which are basically blue space communists.
That's hilarious. Okay. Space communists. All right.
A quick fix here would be to show some diversity in the
diversity. There we go. You said it. You said the word.
Evil team's hiring practices. For instance, with evil humans and elves as well as orcs.
Okay, so the evil team needs to have some humans and other things in there. But what if the enemy faction you're fighting against is just really just an ethno state, an ethno planet,
okay. Or ethnocentric? Yeah,
ethnocentric. Yeah,
can't be.
Yeah, they're like, it's only orcs, man. You got to be purebred, or I don't know.
So basically, extra credits is saying he wants a World War II movie where Adolf Hitler is a black guy.
Yeah. Oh, that would be. Oh, we would flip out about that. He'd be like, no, I don't want that. It's like, it sounds like you do. You want diversity there. Let's put some diversity in those Nazi platoons there. Let's put some black people, Hispanic people. Should throw some Asian people in there. Anyway.
Conversely, introduce orcs who have chosen good and neutral, as well as evil. And a good example of a series getting better and better at this over time is Mass Effect. Because
Wait, isn't that series done?
Yeah. And for him to say that in context, like if an orc, intermingles with a human and is has half orc, half human children, then that's going to be a boon to both humans and orcs. So, while yes, there could be orcs that would do that, but it just wouldn't be common in the grand scheme of things.
Besides, who would mate with an orc? That's just not good. That's not good at all. I don't even think that would work. That's cross species. I don't even think that's even possible. We're not talking about different races. We're talking about different species here.
It is according to Skyrim.
I guess, yeah, in Skyrim, I guess could a Nordic woman have sex with an orc and reproduce an orc Nord? Oh, wow.
There's a book in Skyrim that you can find that's called, it talks about that. Yes, a human and the species, they can crossbreed.
That's strange. You can't crossbreed with a dog, but you can crossbreed with an orc. Well, wait. I think you can crossbreed with dogs, though, because in the Elder Scrolls stuff, because there's cat people. There might be dog people, too.
Sheep.
Guys, this makes no sense. So I didn't play Mass Effect. That game was really popular. I was still playing Halo then. I was like, fuck it. I don't know, guys. I think I played a little bit of it, saw it. So, yeah, whatever. But was that a good example of choice and moral choice and stuff? I heard it didn't really matter in the end. I heard that in the last game, like, no matter what you chose, it didn't really seem to matter.
It basically shit the bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's moral choice, but there were still, bad aliens and whatnot.
Yep, you get your bad factions. Oh, you know what? In Halo, it was like, oh, the elites are part of the Covenant, they're evil, and then later on in Halo 2, they start having a civil war with each other over some bullshit, a religious war or whatever. And then in Halo 3, they're like on your side, and you're fighting the brutes and stuff. Hey, look, there's moral choice. I mean, it was kind of done for you. The game was written that way. Whatever, I don't know.
And then this guy's just complaining about shit video games have already done.
Yeah, kind of. But I think we'd have a problem then too, because even with the Halo example, because all of the elites joined, in at least what it looked like in Halo 3, the humans or whatever. I guess not, because in Halo 4 they were not on the same team anymore. They're fighting back, but then again, the Halo storyline really that's not really a good example, because at a Halo 4 and beyond, it's kind of like, you guys are just making stuff up now, aren't you? You guys are just looking for a reason to keep this shit going.
Yeah.
I mean, and this goes back to what you said before. Like, you need a villain. You need someone to kill, someone to attack, someone to have a conflict with.
Because then what would be the point of the conflict if you can just, talk your way out of everything? That'd be like the lamest game ever.
That would be the most progressive game ever? You mean a game where you don't have to use your gun and it gives you extra 500 points for actually talking down? Can you imagine that? Oh my God, there's a school shooter. What do? I'm going to talk to him. No, stop there. Success. You're rewarded 500 points.
Give him a gift basket.
Mm-hmm. If only you've done that. There's some more of this. A couple more minutes. Let's see what they say.
As in the first game, Commander Shepard never meets a nice Batarian or a fun Geth. But then, spoiler alert, most of these evil species turn out to be as complex and interesting as the human ones as the trilogy progresses. Broad moral generalizations about species or culture not only doesn't make internal sense, but it also leads to less evocative, less rewarding worlds and games. But we can solve that problem by following our best creative instincts to diversify, deepen, and complicate the worlds we create and its denizens.
But, I mean, I could recall various games like Warcraft or whatever, where there's ethnocentric, clans or whatever. and they can be evil or good depending on the perspective. But even they have like a storyline wise, they have conflicts. They have like a character that has like a conflict with what he's doing, wants to do things in a different way, and it's like, or does not agree with what's going on, wants to deviate from the clan, deviate from, I guess, the main mission or whatever. And they have that.
Yeah, and in Warcraft too, it doesn't within that the story. It doesn't say either side is generically evil. Just that both sides have done good and bad things, and it's up to the player to decide which side is good or evil.
Right. Actually, that's that man. Now I'm really remembering Warcraft 3. Remember the cinematic and all that. I remember being really impressed with that back in the day when I was a kid first playing it. I always thought the framing of Warcraft 3 was that both sides are pieces of shit, because both sides are in this conflict and they are fighting and they're just not going to stop. There's no stopping this fighting. That's what it seemed like. Like they're both evil, they're both good, they're both. It's like they're flawed, man. They won't stop fighting. Okay. So I think that takes care of this video. Let's see.
This way, players won't be incentivized to make snap judgments about our game's orcs or aliens or undead based on moral absolutes or body types. Instead, we'll all be driven to investigate, explore, and learn. Our players will invest themselves more in our games, and because they're human, ask the hard questions to push our design into even more enriching and unexpected places. Plus, maybe if...
Okay, now let's play music. I think it's over. Put away the stupid tropes. I think that frame was supposed to show there. Gotta put away the stupid tropes, guys. You think people listen to this guy?
No.
Do you think game developers listen to this guy?
Hell no.
I thought the same thing about Nita Sarkeesian, but Naughty Dog kind of proved me wrong. But I don't know. I mean, I don't see any real, but Anita Sarkeesian was different, I think. She was definitely much more vocal. This extra credits guy is, I think he's just trying to grift on this. I mean, this angle's it's really dumb. Oh, making all orcs evil is wrong. But yet, they're not even evil. They're good in their perspective. And guess what? Depending on what the gaming is, you could play as orcs. And guess what? You're the good guys because you're Team Orc.
Exactly.
And then the humans are the bad guys. Look at that. Man. That's so easy.
It seems like he's just crying over spilt milk.
Crying about nothing. It was critique. Oh, that's bad game design. Okay. All right. Have you made your own games? Like, what would your own game look like? I'm curious what it would be. Or when the same thing with Anita Sarkeesian, when it was like her ideal game. I remember back in the day, it was like the game she referenced was like this pixelated thing where there's like you couldn't tell what it was, what the character was. It's like, okay, all right. I know, it's goofy stuff, man. So those watching in the chat or whatever, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about evil races or bad game design? I'm going to drain the lizard a little bit. And Kaiser, what else do you want to talk about? I mean, that was the most of it here. You got something else on your mind?
Let me look up something more about this extra credit stuff.
Okay. All right, give me a minute. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, I'm back now.
All right.
All right. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense to go off and talk about, let's say, like kill stream stuff or Ethan Ralph. I don't know. I mean, this stream so far is pretty much extra credits focused. An hour in, changing topics would be like, what? It would just get buried in it.
Well, it's like, here's hypothetical too,
Okay.
right? So you're playing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and there's an instance where you need someone to sneak into a castle or the enemy's camp. And you have two choices. You can either choose the orc or you can choose the hobbit, right?
Right.
The orc is mainly a war loud species, and that's where they excel is combat. Or there's the hobbit that's sneaky, and the race is known to be thieves and skilled in pickpocketing and stuff. It's like, of course, the choice is obvious. You're going to go with the hobbit.
Oh, I'd probably choose the orc. I want to go in there loud and start killing everything. That's why I usually die in those games. I don't last too long. Give me an axe. Point me in the direction. I just want to swing at it. What you don't know, Mr. Deadman, is that in that cave there's a freaking dragon, and it's gonna kill you. So, wrong move. I thought it was powerful. I thought it was strong.
And now I have to spend another 15 to 20 minutes making another character sheet. All right. Thanks, you dick.
Yep. And that's the thing, too. That say those attributes, those characteristics are racist and wrong. It's like, oh, but why? You know, and that goes back to orcs being racist because the people who claim orcs are racist by being strong and ugly looking and I guess evil is somehow associated with black people. I don't understand that. So if you see an orc, you see a black person, that sounds weird, man. Shit. And I thought my uncle was racist. Fuck. He had never said anything like that. He just said some stuff about lawnmowers pretty much cutting the jobs of Mexicans, pretty much. But he never said he sees a black person as an orc or whatever. Jesus Christ. Uncles, man. Okay. Let's see. I think extra credits has a few other things we can get into here. Oh, but actually on the topic,
Are you looking to learn more about
on that idea that I guess certain races or species have certain attributes that could be evil or not evil, I guess a quote problematic. What about the characteristics of that, like you said, of a hobbit? Or you said a hobbit or a gnome? You said a gnome?
Either or, they both are like similar.
Okay. All right. So when you look at a typical gnome, what race does he closely look like? I don't know. And then what stereotypical attributes are associated with that close race? And because that's what they do, right? That's what the people who claim, oh, you know, orcs are racist because they look like black people. That's what they're doing. They look at elves and be like, oh, elves have white privilege because they look like white people. But there's already humans. There's already humans in these fictional worlds. There's already humans. It's so fucking stupid. Not only are there already humans, there's humans, and there's, guess what? Different races in the humans. You want to play as a black guy? You can play as a black guy.
Guess what? That different, and that all depends on the roll of the dice, right? When you're creating your character. So
Yeah. That's right. You can set up your attributes that way. It is much to do about nothing, you know, and we focus on the stuff because, like, I just want to be one of the many voices that call it out and have fun doing it. But what are we doing? We are diving deep into the nonsense of this guy overly analyzing like races and video games.
Which are fiction, and in relation to video games, pixels.
Yep.
Getting offended and bent out of shape over pixels.
Over pixels. I remember when people would overanalyze like pop culture and stuff and have fun with it, make jokes on it. Now it's, oh no, we got to be serious, guys. We need to correct some mistakes. Like I used to, Angry Video Game Nerd, the James Ralph Wolf. I don't know. You know who I'm talking about though, right? AVGN.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, but that was a delay there. I was like, you got to know. Everybody knows him. Yeah, but he overanalyzes games to the point to where it's like, dude, you deep dive in this thing, but it's all fun. All to critique it and Okay, let's see.
Whole point to fantasy too is that there are different species and like groups and things to play as. That's the point. It'd be dumb if it was just all like Terrans and humans, right?
Right.
So I wonder if extra credits, according to his opinion, if there should be affirmative action in the NBA.
Maybe they need some diversity there. You get the token white guy every now and then. I don't see any midgets on the court either. Get some gnomes in that shit.
Dwarf.
They can't dunk, but guess what? I'm pretty sure that they can dribble that ball through the legs of anyone that's going to try to stop them. So there's that. He has some other videos on this channel. I don't know if they're worth. What is this? Monopolies, Teddy, and the. Okay, so he does like political stuff too. The assassination of Medgar Evers. Okay. Trolls and Touchdown RPG. I heard this guy also is pro loot boxes, which is funny.
Oh God.
I don't know if that's true or not. Let me see. Let me see if I can search this stuff for loot box. That'd be hilarious if it just comes up.
Are we talking like video game loot boxes or like the loot boxes in real life?
I think video game loot box. Let's see. Loot box question. Design ethical loot boxes. That's 3 years ago. I'm curious about this. Let me see.
There is a lot wrong with the way our industry does loot boxes. We've seen loot box systems that are game breaking.
Okay, wait. I heard he was for loot boxes. Maybe it's for ethical loot boxes, which I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
So then that just tells me he's in for the political shit for a grift, and the loot box is just for a grift.
Yeah. I mean, loot boxes, all that is gambling, man.
Yeah.
That's bullshit, too. You're not gambling for even real money. You're just gambling for some nonsense. It's like, what? You spend $1, $2, maybe $5, maybe more on digital shit that goes away after one use. Money well spent.
What is one of the later Halos that actually had DLC, but the DLC you bought you didn't have it permanently. It was on rent for like it had a time limit on it.
I played all the Halos, so I can tell you. Halo 5 is the one that had. Well, okay, I'm not really too sure which. Okay, the DLC, like you mean like the levels, like they weren't really rent, like they were there, but Halo 5 had they had these card things that you could buy. You could spend real money on it if you wanted to, and you get like access to stupid shit that you would use in their. I believe they called it like, what the fuck they called it? It's been like a year since I played the game, like Warzone or something, and it was like upgraded weapons, upgraded vehicles, some really cool shit. But you could also earn that stuff. You could just play along and earn that stuff and get access, or you could spend real money and get access to it.
Requisition pack.
Yeah. I wouldn't spend any money on that shit. I saw that, I was like, oh fuck no, Halo, no. I mean, that hurt me. I was like, fucking A, man. But for what it's worth, as a Halo fanboy, it only really applied to the Warzone shit, or whatever they called it. So like, it wouldn't really affect the real multiplayer games. It would just affect I don't know what it would just. It's kind of like a Battlefield sort of thing, because you have big teams, you have vehicles, you have crazy weapons, you take over like outposts and shit, you hold stuff and you try to like bleed out the other side. So kind of like Battlefield. But ethical loot boxes. It's a fucking grift.
Has to be, because
I mean, I wouldn't want my son to buy any loot boxes or anything like that. In fact, I tell him, when I buy him stuff for Minecraft, I'm like, no, we're not going to spend the money on things that like you can easily make or whatever. They're not going to do stupid stuff like skins. Come on now. Like, I might buy him like a Minecraft level that's like, we're never going to be able to make this thing, and this thing looks incredible, like the city one where like you have moving vehicles and shit. I was like, okay, that looks cool. But you know, that's every once in a while. But even then, that's not a loot box. I mean, you know what it is you're getting.
you have access to that content as long as it's available.
Right. A lot of these loot boxes is random what you get inside. It's like the equivalent of they have these in real life too. Amazon has been selling these return boxes. Have you seen them?
I've seen those.
Yeah, my wife was telling me about them. She was telling me about them as in she wanted to buy one, and she bought one. When she first told me about it, I was like, no, that's a dumb idea. She's like, what do you mean? It's like, you are literally buying a box of random stuff. You have no idea what's in that box. It could be anything they return. It's like, well, it's clothes. That's okay. That doesn't make it any better. Like, you have no idea what clothes they are. They might not even fit you.
It could be a bunch of gimp suits.
Right? It could be S&M stuff. It could be a bunch
Chaps.
of chaps, cowboy hats, red boots, belts. Could be clothes for a toddler, clothes for a teenager, and clothes. Man, that seems like a horrible thing to gamble on, because without trying them on, would you buy a big box of clothes for $30 without even trying on the clothes? I don't know if it's $30. I forgot how much it was. But it's like, the point of trying on clothes is to know that the clothes fit. If you just want to just get a big box of random clothes, okay, but it's not going to fit. Good luck on that. Anyway, I'm curious what he says about these ethical boxes.
Breaking, others that are exploitative, some that are even downright unethical. And if that has made you wary of this monetization model, I can't blame you. But I'm not sure I'm on board with the demands to eliminate the model entirely, or even to never put them in $60 games. It's complicated. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, wait. He's pro-capitalism? He's...
Problematic, if you ask me.
I wanted to make money, guys.
Regardless of rising costs or inflation, and that's starting to get untenable. If you want to learn more about that, I recommend checking.
Oh, so loot boxes help pay for the developers and the programmers and all that shit. Is that what he's gonna say?
Probably.
These 2 episodes out later. The ultimate dilemma, though, is that AAA studios need to see higher profits to match the higher costs, but they can't do so by raising prices. James was at a...
They wouldn't need higher profits if they could just fire half their staff, the ones they don't need, like man, Kaiser, can you think of a department they could just outright get rid of that it's just taking money and it's like not doing anything but just making sure that things are ethical and diversity in the games. What do you call that? What am I looking for here?
A bunch of Marxist crap to me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm getting at. Definitely. And they have those. Like these big companies, they have people that just sit there and want to look at the game to see whether or not it's going to be, if it's diverse enough. If it has the right balance. Yeah, you can get rid of them.
Cyberpunk is so shitty.
Yeah. You know, a lot of the shit. If you think about like a lot of the most okay. Some of the biggest games or biggest franchises started off like from developers that were just literally programming in their apartment. Like it was just a handful of guys. And you probably can't pull that off anymore on these big AAA titles because of so much stuff going into them. But then again, maybe they don't need all that stuff going into it. Maybe you could downsize it a bit. Maybe you don't have to make every game like a huge blockbuster or whatever. Maybe you can make something more low key. Sounds weird. Sounds
a lot like Westwood Studios and Command and Conquer before EA took over.
Right. Those games were great. Those games were made by a handful of guys. And hell, I still play Command and Conquer, the original. You know, it's fun stuff. Good stuff.
And then there's Blizzard, which started out the same way, and then we've seen what a horrible company that became.
Right. Well, they were good up until, when was it? World of Warcraft, pretty much. You know, after Warcraft 3 was great, but Warcraft 3 is like the last time you're going to see a Warcraft RTS. Guess what's the point now? World of Warcraft makes so much money.
$20 a month. Yay!
Right? It's sad. But yeah, what I'm getting at here is these developers don't need all this profit. They don't need if it wasn't for all these costs that they have, you know, they wouldn't have to need need all this money. I'm not trying to be anti-capitalist. I'm not saying they don't need to make money. You can make money, but justifying loot boxes to make up for that cost. That's weird to me.
Yeah. Well, like DLC, I can see because you're adding content onto the game and you own that. It's not randomized, garbage.
Right. All right, let's see what else he says.
A convention a few weeks ago, and he asked the audience, how many of you would buy just as many games each year if they cost $80? 2 people out of an audience of hundreds raised their hand, and that is what the games industry is afraid of. And so they've been exploring supplemental revenue models to make up the difference. We've tried subscription fees and DLC, microtransactions, season passes, and collector's editions, but our most successful experiment so far is loot boxes.
And that's the one they got sued over. Because in DLC is fine. DLC is great. Okay? And you get something. Even stupid stuff like a skin or whatever. I mean, people pay for that shit. I think it's kind of dumb, but whatever. At least it gets something. They get something from it. But a loot box? Come on, man. You're just putting gambling in there. And you're selling them digital bullshit, digital junk that they'll use one time, if even.
It should be said that the shit in loot boxes, it's like you said, the same shit, but with a different coat of paint on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll go a little bit further. We'll go a little bit further. Oh, go ahead.
Like the Counter-Strike stuff, you got people spending hundreds of dollars on skins. And it's like, why?
Yeah. Oh, that's bad too, man. If I found out my son spent that much money on like Minecraft or whatever, I'd be like, no. But fuck. So he's saying, okay, because the game industry can't raise the price of the games you buy, they're going to go ahead and make up for that cost for with loot boxes. Well, I mean, they more than make up for that cost. They make a shit ton of money with loot boxes. They are practically like just stealing, nickel and diming people. It's crazy. But there's people for it, and that's what this guy is. He's for it. He's for loot boxes. Interesting. So he's for loot boxes. There's no problem there. No problem at all. Yet race, a whole race can't be evil. Fictional species and races in fictional games can't be pure evil because that's wrong. How do you feel about this extra credits guy?
He's an absolute tool.
Absolute cool, indeed. What did they get sued over? Oh, didn't EA got sued over the loot box stuff?
I think they probably got sued over the FIFA, FIFA. Loot box. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy money too. That's lots of money. I forgot what the lawsuit was, but it was a shit ton of money that people spent on loot boxes for nothing. Let's see. You want to go a little bit longer? Or are you good?
You can play the video.
Huh? Okay, I'll play it. One moment.
And it's not that surprising that they're so successful. They're basically the video game equivalent of a Magic the Gathering booster pack. And the thing you gotta know about Magic booster packs is that for a very long time, they were the highest earning per user monetization item in all of gaming. It's a time-tested and extremely successful model.
Except you keep that card. When you buy a Magic the Gathering booster pack, even though you might get junk cards, you keep that card. The card is yours. You buy a loot box. What you get are these digital things that might be like a one-use thing and then it's done. Like in Halo. All the games. Or you might get a skin. Or you might get something, but it's not even yours because they could take it away if there's some reason why they had to take it away or whatever. But that Magic the Gathering stuff, that's yours. You can hold it. It's in your hand. And you could resell it. You could sell those cards.
Another thing you have to think of, when these games with DLC and their online communities go under and their servers shut down, then you lose all that DLC you spent money on. Well, loot boxes you spent money on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's a good point. Like, and that applies to all those games. Like, any game that you got on like Xbox Live or whatever, and let's say that game is no longer supported, it's gone. It's just gone. It might even be removed from the store altogether, and you might be owning the last version or the last thing you can get, I guess. How that happened with there's a few titles that come to mind, but anyway.
Now, obviously,
Oh, go ahead.
This game called Hellgate London back in the day. That the game went under, and they sold the servers out to China.
Okay.
Yeah, anyways.
And they didn't maintain it, I imagine.
Yeah, of course.
Benefits of this model for the developer are huge. Loot box content is generally far less expensive to produce than DLC or expansions, and the possibility for duplicates inevitably means that players will end up purchasing more content than the devs actually make. Done.
So not only, see, that sucks. So in a loot box, there's a chance you're going to get a duplicate. You're going to get something that you already had. Oh, that's bullshit. It makes sense if it's a physical Magic the Gathering card, because sometimes you need more than one of that, but what the fuck are you going to do with two of the same skins for your guns for Call of Duty?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Unless they implement some sort of like crafting system, that's the only way I think they could do that.
Yeah. Well, guess what? They don't have that crafting system. This guy's full of shit.
Well, it handily solves that $60 price tag problem. And I would argue that this benefits players in some significant ways as well.
How?
I see a lot of people complain that games with loot boxes are trying to make everybody pay hundreds of dollars to enjoy the game, but it's actually the exact opposite case.
Oh, they don't want you to spend any money to enjoy the game. That's the exact opposite of what he just said. I mean, I'm drunk, and I might have ate something that makes me feel good, but I got that one right. Does that make sense? Is that what he said?
Yep.
Okay.
Some players being willing to spend hundreds of dollars on these games is what makes it easier for the industry to sell these games at the more affordable $60 price. Those big loot box spenders are subsidizing that $60 price tag for the rest of us. And obviously game companies aren't doing that out of the kindness of their hearts. Higher profits are unquestionably...
I like how he likes loot boxes subsidizing video games. Look at that. Look at that. Maybe the game developers, maybe these big publishers could make some changes so that they don't have to worry about all this cost. Oh, wait, they do that anyway. After a game developer is done, the publisher, these big ones like EA, they usually, guess what, get rid of them, and then and then they're done with it. But if they need to make another version of the game, they get another studio, or they might rehire the studio that they used before. Interesting.
Like with Madden or the soccer games, every year there's a new version. So all those loot boxes you spend is now essentially worth dog shit.
Yep. Because they don't transfer. Man, it's like it got too bloated. It got too big. Should just go back. Should be broken up. Should just let these game developers be indie. Yeah, the indie life is struggling. Yeah, but man, some of the best games came out from those struggles, man.
Well, there's one more thing that this guy's considering is local, state and federal taxes on video games and stuff, because I think there's Chicago or Detroit, one of them has tax on, like entertainment tax on video games and online play.
Yeah, of course they do. Is he
Also going to add the price of the game and force more loot boxes.
Of course. Let's see what else he says.
Their goal, but this is functionally what a successful supplemental profit model like loot boxes achieves. Games of increasing scale and fidelity sold at the same standard price, keeping those games affordable for more of us. And the same principle applies in the free-to-play space. I have personally got—
Oh, I hate free-to-play games. Every free-to-play game, I'm like, oh no, dude, there's a grift here. There's an angle.
Yeah.
What is it? I avoid them like the plague. Free-to-play, not gonna even try it. Don't even tell me about it. And all those YouTube channels shilling Raid Shadow Legends. Fuck every single one of those. Fuck them all.
Yeah.
Hey, is there a YouTuber you like that shills Raid Shadow Legends? You know what?
Count Dankula.
Fuck them. I might like their content. Count Dankula? Yeah. He's funny. But Raid Shadow Legends. Come on, you don't play that game. No one really plays that game.
Gotten to enjoy hundreds of games for free because other players were paying the developer's salary by buying loot boxes and card packs. That is a fantastic thing that I would never want to see go.
Pause right there. But the free-to-play games is a horrible example here because it really... What is he saying? Loot boxes help because you get skins and stuff or whatever, and the loot box might not be necessary to beat the game, but in free-to-play games, those models, every single one of those games are free-to-play. Every single one of them. Prove me wrong. Change my view. Every single one. In order to actually beat the game, you're going to need to pay. Or spend thousands of hours playing the game.
And they're all dog shit, too. There's not a single one that's decent.
Yeah. Oh, you need to continue? Okay, for $2, you can get an extra life. Oh, are you having a hard time fighting this guy? For $5, you can get past him. It's like, okay.
One pack. Got packs of $5, $15, $20, and $100.
Yeah. Oh, it's stupid stuff.
Go away. But that subsidy should be freely given. I have got no qualms with some rich folks throwing tons of money at these games so the rest of us can play affordably, especially if the content they're buying is strictly cosmetic in nature, but only if they are not being conned into spending money they can't afford. And that is where this gets more complicated. Because frankly, despite all of that positive stuff I just said, a lot of companies are deploying loot box systems that are exploitative. There
Okay, now we're getting to the negative. Okay. All right, let's see if he starts contradicting himself here. He might.
are games out there using everything we know about the human brain to try to get people to spend money they don't have.
No way. You don't say. Huh. It's not like advertising's really good at that. It's not like marketers are really good at knowing how to dupe people. Are you surprised by that? Yeah, I'm not surprised by this.
And that is a legit.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Didn't Darkside Phil spend like $10,000 on a premium game?
Yeah, the wrestling game.
$10,000 on.
$10,000. That's right. That's the legend in your way. I'm gonna get one more smoke. One more.
Legit capital P problem. Now, there are some common myths around this that need dispelling. First, you'll hear some claiming that these games are preying on children, trying to get them to spend tens of thousands of...
Well, they kind of do. They do. Oh, yeah, they so freaking do. Oh, plenty of examples are flooding into the mind right now. Candy Crush, all those fucking phone games. Oh, yeah. I mean, the bright fucking colors, the big gigantic button right there, the cancel button or I don't want to buy button is like teeny tiny, almost not there. You have to like look for it, play like Where's Waldo to find it. Yeah, no, they know what they're doing.
Companies are set up to have that charged directly to the bill.
Yes.
For
Yes.
service.
Yeah, they don't ask, "Hey, are you a kid? Hey, are you a kid right now? Is your parent in the room?" No. You actually have to take extra efforts to make it to where your card is password protected, that, you know, purchases are stopped that way. I wonder if it's gotten better now after the lawsuits, but I mean, that's how it was. All right, play some more of this. It says it's not marketed towards kids. I'm curious what he's going to say here because I may have something. Let's see.
Of their parents' money, but this is actually very rare.
Oh, okay. What?
Yeah.
Very rare. It happens so much it comes on the news. What? Dude, what was it? Like a kid spent like maxed out the credit card on like Minecraft shit or Call of Duty stuff? I don't know. We can pull up some headlines here. Sure, you Google it, you'll find it real easily.
Yeah, there was a senator's son, I think, that spent $1,500 on Steam, I believe it was.
On what? In Steam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble because those were campaign contributions.
Yeah.
Very rare, my ass.
makes for a good news story, so every time it does happen, we hear about it. There are also consumer protections in almost every affluent country at this point, which force game companies to refund purchases made by minors if a parent requests it. Most game companies...
But you have to prove it. You have to call that stuff in. Yeah. Oh, I wonder if he's going to get into the aesthetics. See, the games, the purchase menu and all that, it's very bright, very colorful, and that's for kids, man. Yeah, it works on adults. It works on everybody. Why do you think? Las Vegas has all those bright lights and shit? Because people like bright lights. Adults like bright lights. Kids like bright lights. Everyone likes bright lights and bright colors. You're attracted to it.
Then the casino machines play a specific note that gives you that feeling of like feeling happy and whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It plays on the mind.
Companies actually hate having to deal with children purchasing their stuff because it just creates so many
Really? I don't think Nintendo hates that. That's a whole other grift, though. Got Pokemon. I don't think they hate kids buying their stuff. They love that shit. Press X to doubt on this stupid claim. Companies really hate it when kids purchase their shit without their parents knowing. They really hate it, guys. Bullshit. Then every fucking Spyro game or whatever kid game that has loot boxes and DLC, whatever, they should start off with a menu that says parents. Do you want your kid to be able to buy our crap without you knowing? Oh, they don't have that. Makes me wonder why. I mean, if they have loot boxes and kid-oriented games like Fortnite and shit, then why? Kaiser, what's the common demographic for someone who plays Fortnite?
Yep.
They're like a 9-year-old, right?
Yeah. Minors.
Yeah, minors. Not coal miners, but minors. Like they can't drink. Okay, so as far as I'm aware, they don't have credit cards. Unless they have their mommy and daddy's credit card. So yeah. I'm gonna play more of this. This is good.
headaches. That said, anybody who is doing this, that is actual evil. I can't believe I have to say this sentence, but don't prey on children, please.
I bet he does. I don't know anything about that. That might be a little too far. What do you say?
Loot boxes are free.
Huh?
His loot boxes are free.
Yeah.
The second, and much more common discussion point you'll hear is that loot boxes are gambling, or are at least similar enough to gambling that they'll either cause gambling addiction, or at the very least prey on those vulnerable to gambling addiction. This needs more study.
Oh, it don't need more study. It's been... in fact, that was one of the arguments in court. That's why they had to change some of their stuff.
It's funny how he says that needs study, but just earlier in this video, he said, oh, video game companies hate it when kids buy their stuff. It's like, well, he didn't cite any sources for that.
Yeah, right? It doesn't cite any sources. Even needs more study. What do you mean needs more study? Are there studies out there that you don't like? What do you mean needs more study?
It may well be true, but the only major study I've seen on the matter didn't find that to be the case. Both legally and
I wonder who funded that study. You know, the interesting thing about studies, and Sleazy Martini talked about this too, and it's very true. These studies they're funded by people. Who funds them? Could be companies, interest groups, companies, lobbyists. We're like the oil industry wanting to fund a study to prove that there's nothing wrong with burning oil. They're gonna make sure they get that study the way they want it. You know? Interesting how that works. Anyway.
Psychologically, there's an important distinction between gambling and non-gambling, and that is the ability to cash out. Because you can't take your rare Overwatch skin and sell it back to Blizzard for actual spending money, the experience of...
Or you can't sell it on eBay or anywhere else because it's completely digital and not even there. I mean...
World of Warcraft. Or they used to, anyway.
Oh, you could sell it on... World of Warcraft you can, huh?
Well, they might change that now, but back in the day, they would have people get stuff from, like, the raids, and they would actually, like, put them up on eBay.
You know what? I remember that. I remember mining for gold and selling that for money. It took a lot of time. I thought it was going to be a nice cash flow, but I was like, man, this is really boring. I spent hours mining gold. I could barely even buy Taco Bell with the money.
affects us differently. Video game loot boxes are less like craps and roulette and more akin to a crane game, or a blind box, or the raffle for prizes at the counter.
Okay, the raffle for prizes for a mystery bag of prizes. The blind game, okay, that's accurate. The crane game, no, you're going to get something every time. You might get the same thing. You're going to get some digital crap that you're not going to really, you can't resell. You don't actually own. I don't see the point in it.
But that might change in the future with all this blockchain stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
County fair. At least that's what the science seems to suggest right now. Again,
Hey, I'll tell you what, right now, if there was a loot box thing for like a 3D print code for a gun for one of the Call of Duty guns and it functioned, oh shit, I'd be on that immediately. A lot of people would. Oh fuck, that'd be a whole other thing.
this requires a lot more serious study. I've seen a number of psychologists voice their personal opinions, some saying, of course it's gambling, others saying, of course it's not gambling, but really it just reinforces the point. We need to actually
What point? Do we need to study more?
scientifically look into this, and on a large scale. Because if loot boxes and booster packs and such
But you know what? It seems so obvious. It's gambling. You're spending money on a chance, on the probability you get something really good. You don't know what it is. It could be something great, I guess. Or it could be a bunch of crap. Crap that you already had before. So nothing. This
But
actually
you have
worse.
to you have to keep buying them because the next one and the next one and the next one might be the good one.
You know what, Kaiser? This is actually worse than gambling. In gambling, there's a chance you could win money. You could do something with the money.
Yeah.
What are you hoping? Like the people who spin on loot boxes, what is the max thing they're looking for? Like what is the grand prize they're trying to achieve? They're trying to reach. They don't even know. They don't even know what it is. There is no grand
but
prize.
you might get bragging rights in your matches though. Oh,
Yeah. I got this
epic.
custom skin, man. I like to play Call of Duty and like killing people with like the bare bone skins and I'm really giving a shit. I will say though, every time you get taken up by a 13-year-old that has some fucking fancy skin you never seen before, just gotta stink a little bit. You're like, that fucking bastard. But he spent his mom and dad's money on that shit.
And then they talk shit to you after that.
Yeah. I'll
Oh
be
my
like,
god, suck my dick.
suck my
Wait, what?
dick. Your parents are gay. Your mom's gay. It's like, okay. Hey, kid, can you tell me wait, what's your phone number? I'm going to call your dad. I'll let him know that I think he might need to check his credit card statement about that skin you're using. Does he know you're spending money on Call of Duty or whatever?
You gotta call your stepdad.
Stepdad, yeah.
are causing or triggering actual gambling addiction, that is something we need to know about.
Well, it's not. You really don't need a scientific study on it. If it's gambling, then of course it's going to. If it's gambling, of course it's going to. I mean, it just makes sense.
Well, of course, and then all the games, even like the Rainbow Six, right? They always have this immaculate animation of opening a bag or a box, right?
Yeah.
You know, it does get people hooked.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the animations are nice. Very colorful. Very, very nice. Oh, Rainbow Six is a good example. Yeah, they have a lot of bullshit. I mean, that's what's keeping Rainbow Six Siege afloat. Because the game is pretty much bare bones. It's like, I'm like surprised that game is still around. I'm like, man, this game is like, I mean, I liked it. I played it a few times, but I was like, it's like the same shit every time. All right.
And if they're not, that's something we need to know too, because constantly insisting that they are could lead to a whole host of legal problems that I don't have time to get into today. But in either case, a lot of game companies are making use of B.F. Skinner's research on compulsion mechanics to create their payout schedules for loot boxes, which is the same research slot machine companies use. We can do better.
Okay. He kind of there. It's like he's looking at the information. Oh, wait. Game companies are using the same information, same sort of, I guess, approach that slot machines use? Interesting. Huh. And he just talked about how it's not going to trigger gambling addiction. That's weird. It's like right there. He doesn't see it.
It waddles like a duck, quacks like a duck. Probably a duck.
He's like too big brain for his own good. He can't see it right there.
Better than that. In fact, we have to do better than that. We can make getting a loot box feel rewarding without using psychological tricks to try to manipulate players into buying more of them. Now, in the limited amount of real research that there has been on this, I have found one thread that really does sadden me. Rather than gambling addiction, those people who spend too much money on loot boxes were actually found to be suffering from some form of social anxiety or social pressure. Those
Social pressure. They were pressured to buy the stuff. You must buy. Buy. Don't tell the companies that. Once they realize, wait a second, they were buying all these loot boxes because of social pressure? Oh shit, I know what we gotta do. Alright. And Nintendo's gonna do it for its Animal Crossing. I don't know if they have loot boxes or DLC. I'm pretty sure they will down the line. I don't know. But their little Animal Crossing characters are gonna tell you to buy it. I need a new skin. I need a new outfit. I gotta tell you what, like the Smash Brothers DLC, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Play a Sephiroth, Smash Brothers. Hell yeah. I mean, that thing is already out though, right? I can buy that now. Anyway, play some more of this.
who spent money they couldn't afford to often did so because they felt like they were going to let their guild down if they didn't, or because they feared they would lose their top dog status and feel humiliated if they didn't keep paying. This is something that much of the industry does still
Is that DLCs? Huh? Not DLC. Darkside Phil. Is that Darkside Phil's reasoning why he spent so much money on a WWE free-to-play game? He wouldn't be top dog. I'm big dog, top dog, top dog.
lean heavily into when designing these, and that is wrong. That is something we should never do. Be on the lookout for that stuff because
I like how he says we as a collective, as if like the game companies are listening to him. They don't give a shit about this guy.
And they don't give a shit that they're exploiting kids.
No, they don't. They cared about Anita Sarkeesian because she kept on talking, and she kind of like she presented herself as if like she's like an expert in a very effective way. I have to give her credit for that. I mean, when she's sitting down with the developers of like Square Enix to talk about, I don't know, like diversity quality in games and their games, it's like, what the fuck? Why are they breaking bread with her? She's never done a line of code in her life. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. She doesn't even play video games.
Let's be fair. Square Enix is the wrong company to do that with because, let's be honest, the Final Fantasy games are mostly gay.
Yeah. How long have they been gay for, though? That's the question I have.
After the 8th one?
The 8th one was kind of gay, in my opinion. That Scar... the 8th one was the guy with the gunblade, right?
Yeah. Cloud, I think, was
no,
it?
Cloud was 7.
Okay.
But I think... Wasn't in Squall?
Yeah.
Which is also a Cloud? Isn't that a Cloud?
Now, maybe they're different.
I'm curious about that. Yeah, I thought 8 was the one where when you summon a Guardian, you can continue pressing square. I'm not sure if that was a button, and you ramp it up. You boost it up. Yeah, that was stupid. 7 was great. You summon a Guardian, you just watch a cool cinematic, be like, oh yeah, take that. 8 was like, oh, I gotta push buttons now? Oh, fuck that shit. How am I supposed to play these games and eat Doritos at the same time, man? I need my gamer fuel.
Because especially in the mobile and the free-to-play world, that kind of predatory approach has become so common, it's almost taken for granted today. At the end of the day, I don't have a problem with loot boxes as a monetization model, even in $60 games. When designed ethically, the loot box model allows rich folks to pay more money so the game stays affordable for the rest.
Rich folk. It's not just rich folk, though. It's not just rich folk that have credit cards. Everyone can get a credit card. Guess what? You can be on food stamps and Medicaid and get a credit card.
Or you could steal someone else's credit card.
You could do that too. You could steal. Imagine that. Just rich folk. It's like this guy is a Marxist and a capitalist at the same time. He doesn't know what he wants to be. Wow. Fuck the rich people. Cool with the corporations. Because corporations are rich people though. So, but fuck the rich people. See, it doesn't add up. It's not adding up. His brain scrambled.
He has to leave that open for sponsorship deals later on down the road.
Yep.
Rest of us, and that is all right by me. If somebody has a bunch of money to throw around and they want to buy something ludicrous, our society generally seems pretty okay with that. It's like a rich person choosing to buy a Ferrari.
A Ferrari's cool. Spending the money that you would spend on a Ferrari on a bunch of loot boxes, that's not cool.
If they want to throw $300,000 at a car that looks cooler and drives better than any vehicle most of us will ever get to drive, that is something our society lets them do. Do I think they could spend that money on something better than a sports car or cosmetics in a video game? Oh,
No, back up. Do I think you could spend that money better on something better than a sports car? No, that's fine. But spend that money on a cosmetic stuff on a video game? No, that's a huge problem. Yeah, I think he could have. You know, it's kind of weird when another man telling another man how to spend his money, but that's what we do, though. That's what financial advisors. Well, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm saying people buy self-help books about how to spend their money, how to save their money all the freaking time. That's what Dave Ramsey is. How to save your money, spend your money. What do you think, Kaiser?
But then again, for extra credits to make that point, it doesn't add up. Because when you go to a dealership, you're not like buying a random box that any old car could be in.
Yeah. That would be the equivalent. Spend $300,000 on a. Imagine doing that. You go to a dealership, you spend $300,000, and in the box comes out a you get a Honda Accord. Go ahead.
I feel like getting a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, a Ford Fiesta. That'd be good. Yeah. And you already have a Ford Fiesta. I already have this. I came here to buy another one. What?
I have to get a third mortgage on the house.
Oh, imagine buying houses like this. Instead of going house hunting, you just click on a mystery box. And what you get is what you get. And if it's a duplicate, like you already live in a trailer and you got another trailer, but you spent the money you would spend to get a house, like $186,000. Okay. Money well spent. That's
oh man, I got a cardboard box.
Oh, it's even worse than what I had. Oh man. And it's mandatory too. They kick you out of your fucking RV camper trailer. You go live in your cardboard box now.
I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of awesome.
That might be the future. How they do the housing. We'll see what happens down the line here in Biden's America. You never know what's gonna happen. It's super fun. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap the stream up here. This has been pretty cool. Talking about extra credit stuff. I might have a spicier stream on Monday. Oh, actually, honestly, work-wise, there might not even be a stream Monday. Monday night. There will definitely be one, but so we'll see. Shit. Knowing how I am, I might stream tomorrow. Who knows?
Might as well.
Minus. All right, guys. Well, Kaiser, thanks so much for hopping in the voice chat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, you know what to do. Like,